Hey everybody, how you doing? Oh, I'm done one of my portrait classes. So now instead of teaching that, I can play with the book of backgrounds. Working with bubble wrap. Oh, love this. I posted a question in the group about, is a green garbage bag of bubble wrap too much bubble wrap? And that was really interesting, some of the answers. And just to let you guys know, I am closing down my private Facebook group. I have moved over to a private community. No advertising. None of the other crap, none of the drama of Facebook. And you'll have a link below where you're more than welcome to join in. There is no cost to participate. It's really, really cool. All right. So I'm going to be doing a couple of videos, and they're going to be super short because I want to work with some color schemes and all that stuff. And for this one here, instead of using my typical gray palette matte, I bought this pad of paper, and I bought one for my granddaughter, and I bought one for myself. It's just a big pad of newsprint. I'm going to be working on this, and I'm going to let the paint go wherever it wants, because then what I want to do is, when it's primarily covered, I'm going to take that sheet, I'll reinforce it, and I'm going to use it to make a book cover for a custom art journal. And we're working on a project at that for the end of the month. I had to check to make sure at end of the month we're going to make a custom art journal, so I'm going to use this as my cover. So you can use whatever you want. And this is huge, and I think it only cost me like $5 for this big pad. It's only going to stay neat for a short period of time. Okie dokie. And although I'd like to skip over this part, I would be irresponsible. It would be irresponsible if I didn't show you. So what we're going to do is, of course, and you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to prime my paper with gesso. I'll go over some basic supplies, and from there I'm just going to show you techniques of what I'm doing. But please, for the love of God, change up what you want to do. Make it custom to yourself. If you don't like the colors, choose different colors. You don't like bubble wrap, use something else. So it's all about just ideas. Okay, so that was my 2.5 minute spiel. So I'm going to be using Decor Media Gesso, and I've thinned it down quite a bit with some distilled water. And I'm just going to quickly put a coat on the paper. This is 140 pound Strathmore paper, Strathmore watercolor paper. Oh, it's so much nicer when I don't have to worry about covering my table. Yeah, Joe was getting upset. I was getting paint all over the nice table he made me. That's it. Done. So put that aside, and I'm going to hang on to this because I'm going to see if I can do this with just one brush. Yeah, I thought I was prepped. Okay, it's going to go in my garbage can. So I have one that's already prepared where the white gesso was stained with some red, so I will use that. And so, blah, 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 what am I going to do? Oh yeah, and on the table, I am just so excited to be doing this. It kind of gets where you're doing portraits I'm doing portraits for such a long time. I'm excited to do this stuff. So what I have on the palette is titanium white, Hansa yellow light, Hansa yellow medium, Pyrrole orange, and Naphtha red light. And it's the Decor Media fluid acrylics. So why do I have two yellows? Because I thought we could experiment with this about using, and you guys are going to freak out, cool and warm yellows. Oh my God, there is no such thing as a cool yellow. Yellow is always warm. Well, sort of yes, sort of no. I'm talking about the temperature where it leans on the color wheel. So Hansa yellow medium leans more towards orange, where I classify that as a warm orange, and Hansa yellow light leans more towards green, which I call that a cool yellow. So it just works for me, and it also helps when I'm teaching color theory to create harmonious paintings, because we think of it where it leans on the color wheel. So that's what I have there. And I've got my bubble wrap, so we're going to experiment over a couple of videos. They're going to be nice and short. So let's take some white, and we're going to go into some Hansa yellow light, and we're just going to pop that on there. You don't have to be particularly careful. And I didn't put a lot of paint on the palette because I want to work with different color schemes as I'm going. And as I'm picking up the paint, I'm going to go into some parts with a bit more yellow, some parts with the less yellow. I like the different thing. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm looking at my monitor here, this looks green. So I'll throw in a little bit more white just to get some variety. Boom, done. Okay, so that brush, well, I'm just going to just rest it in some water because I don't want to completely clean it. So now to dry this, I'm going to use a heat gun. You can choose to use... Oh, I need to organize my stuff. So I'm going to use a heat gun. Now, I've been doing this for so long. I burnt myself last week. So please be careful. Up. I was getting impatient. Up, high, hand in front, always moving the hand, always moving the heat gun. If your hand gets hot, move it. And don't take your hand away and just keep, you're going to burn the paper and burn the paint. Okay, so just my health and safety announcement. All right, so I'm also not super zooming in on this because I want you to kind of see the whole thing. A lot of times when I was zooming in close, people were saying, well, how did you do this and how did you do that? So I'm kind of leaving the whole thing open. So I'm going to try with that same brush, and I did a quick rinse so I didn't get everything out of there. So now you can apply the paint any way you want. This bubble wrap was based, I just got an order of some books for a class I'm teaching and for drawing, and this is the bubble wrap, and this is really cool bubble wrap. It's individual bubbles. Some of them there's a membrane on top, but I like these. And so I'm going to go into some pure handsy yellow medium. And let's just put some of that on here. And you kind of have to, I like using the fluid acrylics for this because they stay wet. I'm going to cover the whole thing. You can do whatever you want. And let's pop that right there. Usually I do it the other way around. Why I did it like this, I have no idea. But, you know, see what happens. Some of the best things happen when you screw up. Let's take a peek. Oh, that's cool. That's kind of neat. All right. Oh, and I just got an idea. See how that shine there? Can you, the shine on the dots? It's the paint bubbled up. That'd be really neat if it was metallic. That'd be really neat. So you could mix different things. I also see chaos here. Oh, for God's sakes. Could let this dry, but what if I turn around and just take the exact same brush and go into some orange. So let's pretend we're just going to put something here. Then take some red, naphtha red light. That's going to be interesting. Where it's mixing in with some of the yellow, where I'm putting a little bit heavier. It's pure. Make sure I don't have a defined pattern though. Tap where I want it heavy. Go to the other side, get a little bit more orange. Let's see what that does. Oh, sorry for slamming that. No, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do this way again. Because if I were to take the bubble wrap and put it on top, it would go flippy, and flip all over the place. So I should have kept my mouth shut and say, yeah, I planned it this way. I think when you do the book of backgrounds, there is no, grammar. There aren't any rules. You can do whatever you want. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. I'm going to let this dry now. Talk about timing. I just went into a sneezing fit. As soon as I shut the camera off for drying, I started sneezing. Oh boy. Okay, so that's dry. Before I do anything, I want to take this stuff here and let's clean the bubble wrap. And let's just put it on here and just... Wait, now I can even break some. Oh. Oh my God. Okay, so well, we got something going on there. Alrighty, so that's right. Very simple background, but it's a background, so it's a base, so you build on top of this. So, question for you, because you know how this goes. Question, then the contest. So question for you. If you had to measure bubble wrap, the bubble wrap that you have in garbage bags, How many garbage bags do you have of bubble wrap? If you could just estimate, if you had to put everything into a garbage bag, how many garbage bags of bubble wrap do you have? And comment below, because what I'm doing is a couple of weeks after the video is published, and depending on when you're watching this, I'm cutting the backgrounds in half, and then Joe's picking a name, and I'm sending whoever he picks, sending half the background. My mouth is rented. Sending half the background to that person. I'm keeping the other half, and then whoever I gift this to, all I ask for in return is to just share a picture of what you create on it. That's it. Alrighty. I can tell this has been the first book of backgrounds video I've done in 2 weeks. I gotta get back into the flow. All right, so answer the question, comment. A couple of weeks, Joe's gonna post a name, and then when I post into the comments of who the winner is, then all you have to do is just follow the directions in my comment, and it's just basically send me your mailing address privately, not on YouTube. Alrighty, so I know what I want to do for the next experiment. But what I think I want to use up this paint here in something else. But the other experiment I want to do with this is the same type of piece with phthalo colors. We all know what happens when I use phthalo colors, right? I get it all over the place. Alrighty, so let's move on to the next lesson, and I'll see you there. Until then, stay inspired.